Hello! Hi
Hello.
guys! Today is Tuesday, the 12th of May, and it's day 53 of lockdown. Which I've lost all perspective. I've lost all perspective of how long that is. That seems like I don't remember life before lockdown now.
I mean, as if lockdown wasn't enough like Groundhog Day.
I know.
This is literally the third take of this vlog, thanks to some technical issues.
Yeah.
So this is the third time I've heard Ellie tell you that it's day 53.
And one of the things I said just before we press play was we won't say that this is a second take or a third take, but there we go.
I think why not be honest with people, because it explains the tiredness in my eyes. And because we honestly, guys, if you don't enjoy today's vlog, just know we had some really good stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
Before it all failed, we were being very.
This isn't the attitude. This is why I said keep this quiet.
No, I'm just saying though.
Well, we had some tech issues and some pet issues. Lucy needed to go out for a wee, and essentially I paused the recording, and then it looks like I stopped the recording. But didn't realise I'd stopped the recording, so we carried on filming, but we didn't carry on filming. So sorry, it was my fault, which is why him being sulky sticks in my craw.
I'm not trying to apportion blame. I wasn't going to say it was you. I said it was tech issues. I'm just saying, like, just your point about time losing all meaning made me think of that Groundhog Day thing, and it seemed appropriate. Yeah. And I think we might as well be honest with people and just point out to them that, you know, if you don't enjoy this, what we did do before was incredibly enjoyable, and it's not our fault, right?
Yeah, it's your fault.
It's your fault.
Yeah, it's your fault. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how you could have...
Yeah. So yeah, it's day 53. If you have been watching these for the last few days, you may have noticed that the last few days have been a little bit tense, a little bit angry, quite a lot of confusion and sort of stress about what's going on, and we will go into all of that, but actually there has been some, at least on a personal level, very good stuff happened in the real world when it comes to sort of the lockdown situation, which we'll go into. But I think, like, we will first of all just talk about, also maybe we're a little bit fatigued about filming, because we filmed we mentioned yesterday that we were filming a sketch. When we filmed the blog yesterday, we had already filmed all of my bits, and then after we filmed the blog, we went and filmed all of Chris's bits. And the sketch is sort of a conversation between the two. I should be better at that than I am, but rusty as fuck. But I think the end result is really good. It just probably took more takes than a professional would have taken.
It's been because it is quite topical stuff though, and it's about stuff going on in the real world. And that, even when we were feeling a bit anxious over the last couple of days, it was a good way to kind of channel some of our frustrations into something creative, rather than just sit here fretting about it, wasn't it, really?
Well, I think, like I've said before, I think one of the main things that is good mental health-wise in lockdown, if you can manage it, is to somehow still feel productive. Because of all of the normal ways that you sort of judge whether or not you're doing okay, whether or not you're a success, I guess, whether or not you're achieving your goals, is by what ducks you've lined up in a row, what stuff you've achieved. And actually, like, all of us kind of are in the position where, like, all of that's on pause. Well, obviously not everybody's in the same kind of lockdown. Some people are still working, some people have still got stuff going on, but we're very much in a kind of, our life's been put on pause mode. We're both in lockdown. We're both kind of not really interacting with the real world much.
We've both got kind of career ambitions that we can't really drive forward very easily at the moment.
Yeah, there's bugger all I can do to sort of help grow the escape rooms right now. The only thing I could potentially be doing, I guess, is planning future rooms. But when they're so far and nebulous in the future, when I don't even know what space it's going to be and if I'm going to be in the same room, it's very disheartening to even sit down and try to bash out those sorts of things. But I guess depending on how long lockdown goes, I might eventually have to.
Also, you've got a very creative employee that you were hoping you would be able
wanted to collaborate
on some of that stuff, and you're socially distanced from him. So.
To be fair though, he does also have a newborn baby, so he probably couldn't give a shit right now.
After the break, his
actually probably would be like, please, yes, give me some work to do. We'll video chat and have a chat about some games and stuff. But
he's
yeah,
had a good paternity leave though. Actually,
he has,
he's
yeah.
done quite well.
Although bless, I have to say, it's their first kid, and it's the two of them in lockdown with a newborn baby, and nobody can visit, nobody can help, nobody can sort of even the health visitor that comes to sort of check on the baby. They've had to do that by like video calls and phone consultations. So all of the worry of a new baby and is this normal and is she putting on weight and like I haven't got any of the stuff to I can't imagine how stressful that must be. So actually I really feel for him. But yeah, I guess it's probably, if nothing else, if you've got a newborn baby right at the time of lockdown, I guess at least both parents are getting to spend some serious quality time, because at least it's not like one of the parents is going straight back to work within 2 weeks of the birth. So it's quality time, and both of you are there all the time to know exactly how hard this is. So there's none of the like whoever's gone back to work being like, oh well, you've just been at home all day bullshit. Like nope, this is really fucking hard. Yep, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, so it's quite hard to kind of keep on track and so I'm trying to not really worry too much about what I am achieving right now. I think as long as I come out of lockdown sane, happy, ideally not about 4 stone heavier, which we'll see. It depends on how long lockdown goes on for. But you know, it's just like I think we're having some quality time. We are doing okay. It is lovely that we're now creating some stuff, even if it's sketch. Like, and obviously it's limited what sketches you can do, because it's not like you can vary the backdrops or have any sort of particularly fancy looking props, because we can only use what we've got.
Your cast is pretty limited.
Yeah, cast is very limited. That's the only reason he used me, is because I'm here. If there'd been auditions, I don't think I'd have got it.
Only Phil Cooper had been able
Oh, you wouldn't have hit on him in the sketch, though, would you?
No. Well, I might have done, you know. It's the 90s, after all. But yeah. It just has been nice for me, though, doing something creative. I think I was getting a bit frustrated, and in recent weeks I've started doing a bit more writing, which is good. And then this is kind of like the third video we've made in a kind of similar style, but this one is very much the most topical, and I have a real respect. It's also the longest one we've made as well by some distance, and I have a real respect for people who generate topical material and videos and things on a regular basis, because I spent most of yesterday writing this script, and
quite a lot of it yesterday filming this script, either filming me or filming you.
Most of yesterday was spent writing the script, and then most of yesterday night, so quite late into the night, was spent filming, and then I've spent hours today editing and tweaking and doing a title card and putting a sound effect on and things like that, and then uploading it to YouTube, and then retweaking it to upload optimally for Facebook and things. And
I think it looks really good. I'm really pleased. Obviously, we've got limitations because we haven't got like a professional lighting rig and things like that. But
and it's certainly a very steep learning curve for me, because I'm used to just being able to go out and perform live comedy in front of an audience.
Just test the material by how it goes down with the audience. But this is like, well, I've got to like fiddle with so much more of it before it even gets to people.
Yeah, I've got to learn all these new skills and do it. And the fact that it's topical means I've sunk hours and hours into this, and we had to do it in quite a compressed frame of time. Like you can't go, well, I'll finish it off next week. It needs to be out there because it's topical, but it also means it won't be long before it's completely irrelevant. Like in a few weeks' time, you know, the world's gonna be a very different place again. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is do watch it, because we put a lot of time in, and if you want to
share
watch it, like it, share it. That is
a way that you can support people right now, because actually there are people creating stuff which you don't have to spend money. Everybody's a bit skint, that's fine, that's fair, but actually if people are creating content, chuck it a like, give it a share. That's like, and that's not just going for us, although please do.
And Ellie will put the YouTube link at the bottom of this, so if you want to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's got bits of my stand-up on there. Obviously like and subscribe to this channel. You're watching this, it's a YouTube video. That's something we don't say, like and subscribe. That's what you're supposed to say if you're doing
like
YouTube.
And subscribe.
Like and subscribe, guys. Why not like and subscribe? What have you got to lose?
Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we...
There's no shame in it.
So that's what we got up to. Well, you got up to today because actually it was the bulk of yesterday's sort of activity was filming it, but you got making it today, and I was like, yeah, you turned that around really quick because also the style of the sketch is conversational, so it's sort of us two talking to each other but from different camera angles. So actually editing that all together when it's a conversation, and there were a lot of wrong takes on my part. He gave me all the wordy bits, which shows a great deal of faith, but turned out ill-placed faith. I think the end result was fine, but it's just, I got the line. I fluffed the lines out a lot.
I mean, I literally was writing. I mean, the hardest bit was the last bit that I wrote, I think. So it's not like Ellie had any time to really learn the lines. It was literally like, here's this script I've just written, and we're going to film it now. So.
Thank you, because it was a bit. I was like, oh god. To be fair, it's been a long time since I've done any acting, which it kind of isn't acting. I guess this is because I'm not really playing another character. I'm talking to the camera, but I'm learning lines and doing them to camera.
It is acting, though.
Well,
because, you know, you have to perform.
But yeah, it's been a long time since I've done any of that.
Certainly, it does not come naturally to me, as anyone who's seen the video can attest. But yeah, it is weird when you're just going, all I'm supposed to be doing is doing myself. I can't even remember how I would normally speak.
How do I talk?
Yeah, exactly. It is.
What do I do with my face?
And I have seen lots of celebrities doing cameos and things, and some of them are better than others, let's say.
I think it is weird kind of playing yourself. Not that like the personalities aren't really sort of the thing, it's the what we're talking about. But anyway, watch it. Please do share it around. And yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think you knocked together a pretty good little sketch there.
Thank you.
So that's the main thing that's been going on today. Also, which if you've been paying attention to what we do on what days, slightly weird if you have, but you know, whatever makes you happy. We've all got to keep ourselves entertained in these strange times. We quizzed today. Tuesday nights are quiz nights. So we have a virtual sort of pub quiz, and a different one of us will set it each week. And so we did that just before we came on here. This week it was set by Chris's parents, and I think it is safe to say that Chris was very aware that they felt like school subjects. It felt like school. It was like history,
like a quiz set
geography.
By
I don't know any of this shit.
It was
the only thing is I'm glad
quiz, but
I didn't have GCSE general knowledge.
Just on a personal, subjective taste level, I'm not a big fan of quiz rounds that are based on school subjects. I like pop culture stuff, and it wasn't a pop culture heavy quiz by any means.
It could have been worse. There could have been a maths round, and then I would have cried. I was
going to say wept openly in the streets, but don't
wept openly in my garden.
Don't weep openly in the streets, guys. Take that shit indoors. It's lockdown. Weep in your own homes.
Yeah, I don't think weeping counts as exercise, does it?
No. I don't think so.
How energetic do you need to be about it before it counts as exercise?
But I'm going to set the quiz next week, so it's going to be all Paul McCartney all the time.
Yep, all Paul McCartney. So I'm definitely going to cry because I'm not going to know any of that shit. But like, and I'm not even going to have like learned like through living with Chris, because essentially I think it kind of turns into it. Well, no, there should be a wrestling round. And then the rest of it will all be Paul McCartney related. So, like, Paul McCartney, like, history of Paul McCartney, geography of Paul McCartney. Don't do a music round. Freak them out. No music round.
No.
I don't know. Personal life of Paul McCartney. I probably could name 2 facts about Paul McCartney.
What 2 facts can you name about Paul McCartney?
He was married to Linda McCartney.
That is a fact, yeah.
He was also married to Heather Mills McCartney, and she's got 1 leg.
I mean, it's really sad that those are the only 2 things you know about Paul
McCartney. I probably know more things.
Also, those can't
I also know he was in the Beatles.
Those can't go on my Paul McCartney quiz, and I can't know any of those 3 facts, because that'd be giving you an unfair advantage.
It shows how much I pay attention. I probably couldn't name the members of Wings.
No, I saw your mum in the street today.
Yeah.
We maintained social distance. We didn't even...
You were I assume on your way to or from the shop?
No, I was on my way back from the wood with Lucy the dog, and she was walking back, I think, from the shop. But we hadn't planned it. We just bumped into each other because we live
One-on-one's allowed now anyway. But,
is it in Wales?
I don't know.
I don't know that it is, but it
Oh
wasn't.
no, I think it is
wasn't
actually
planned,
okay because Mark
we-
Drakeford said, well, essentially, if you bump into someone you know in the park and
Yeah.
you maintain social distance and have a chat, that's what's already been happening anyway. So
There you
that's
go.
fine,
Okay,
as
that's
long as you
fine.
maintain social
So,
distance.
and we did, and it wasn't a plan, but anyway. Point being that that's another thing. An article that I wrote for What Culture came out today, so maybe Ellie can put a link to that as well.
Will do, yes.
And it was 10 greatest Beatles classic rock tracks, which was not normally I pitch an article and they go, yeah, okay, write that. This was one where I kind of they were looking for someone to write it, and I
Yeah, they do like
volunteered.
assignments, don't they? So
Yes.
they have like, anyone want to write these articles?
So
Pitch.
it was an article that was they were looking for someone to assign it to, and I volunteered.
It feels like that's a you article to write.
Yeah,
but
that's
it is
what
quite
I
a
thought.
broad
trouble is,
strokes on the old title there. Like,
I mean,
like they've done quite a lot of songs. I don't know if you know, but they're actually quite prolific.
Well, the thing is, like when I say the 10 best Beatles classic rock tracks, I mean, arguably, the Beatles are just a classic rock band.
So surely anything by the Beatles. So is it just the 10 best Beatles songs?
Is it the hardest rocking ones? Is it the most classic, as in somehow iconic or famous?
Yeah, I don't know. I would personally take that to be like avoid the like proper ballady love songs.
Well, your mum was a bit disappointed that I didn't include Something by George Harrison.
I think that's just because my mum really loves George Harrison.
No, that's fair enough. There is a George Harrison song in there. I won't tell you which one. You got to read the article. That's something to look forward to. Don't laugh.
I liked the little.
These are straightened lockdown times.
Yeah.
You gotta make your own fun. Find out what George Harrison song is in my article about the Beatles.
I haven't read this one yet. I'm normally pretty good when you release articles to read them. Because
Very
also, he gets paid
fan.
on reads. I only
do.
read them
more-
once, so that probably doesn't even equate to a penny. But I do it for you, Babs.
I think it's like 50p per 1,000 views or
Right.
something. So the
But I
more
do
people who
always
read them and
through.
share them about, the
This
better. But
feels like one that I would care and be more interested in than some of the wrestling ones I've read. But I always enjoy your writing in them.
thank you.
Even though sometimes I have no idea what you're talking about.
But this one, because I say, because the title was a bit vague and not
Yeah.
something I would have pitched myself, I actually found the writing of it a little bit like pulling teeth. But
Well, I guess picking the songs must have been the hardest bit.
Yeah.
Writing about those songs, I imagine you can wax lyrical about. If you think they're the best ones, you can say why.
Some of them were easier than others.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But and then now I've got to do basically the same article again, but this time about Elton John. So again, I'm like, well, is it the
rockiest
hardest rocking
songs,
ones,
or is it the like classic rock songs? Which songs
Like-
would be on a classic rock album
I feel like
of
yeah.
Elton John's?
So it's a but we'll find out which ones I include in that. I guess that's gonna be my next.
I'm gonna say "Not Candle in the Wind."
All right, not Candle in the Wind.
That's about it.
Veto.
Vetoes.
What about Candle in the Wind '97?
No,
Oh.
even less so.
What about Circle of Life?
Yeah, put it in there.
Okay.
Yeah, do it. They will take issue with that and stop letting you take articles. So don't do that.
True. All right.
But so that's kind of what we've been up to today. So I haven't read that article yet, but I will put the link in the blurb, and I will read it overnight.
Thank you. But on the subject though of being out and bumping into your mum and social distancing and all those things, I took the dog for a walk. I also went to do an essential shop at the local Tesco because we were out of cat food. And the cats do not respond well to not being fed. So we need to get some more cat food.
To be honest, they don't respond well even if there is food in their bowls. They don't respond well to you not getting up and showing them the food in their bowl. So if you get up and show them that there's no food in the bowl, they really kick the fuck off. Not keen on that.
So I had to go and get it. But I would say it's one of the more stressful shopping experiences I've had since lockdown. Only because I'm still finding I'm the only person wearing a mask, even though I was under the impression that's what we were all supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Or at least recommend. It wasn't like mandatory, but
it is
recommended.
And you would think in the case of a global pandemic, maybe people would follow the recommendations to protect themselves and others, but apparently not. And also, you're supposed to kind of maintain your 2 meters. So there were times where I was patiently waiting in my kind of floor square in the supermarket.
In your little square.
Because someone else, get back in your box, because someone else was looking at something ahead of me, and I'm going, well, I'd quite like to look at that shelf, but I'm going to wait for them to move on.
Look at him fucking hogging the cherry tomatoes.
Of the one-way system, and I'm waiting patiently, and then someone will kind of push through from behind and past me, and I'm like, oh, well, now I'm waiting. I was waiting patiently, and now you've jumped the queue, and I have to wait. Which was...
I think you actually said to me when you came out though, I was waiting patiently. No, I was waiting impatiently, but I was being secretive about how impatient I was.
I wasn't...
Which is fine. That is the definition of British waiting patiently. They're not being patient, they're looking patient.
I wasn't feeling very patient, but I was behaving as though I was patient. Yes. I was waiting, I was hanging back. Done. But people were pushing past, so again, they're not social distancing with me, and they're jumping ahead of me,
the queue.
And I'm bound to... And it's definitely... been worse, I think, since the newspaper headlines on Thursday convinced the world that it was all coming to an end. Also,
just on the shopping front, I just want to say that I am apologetic that essentially you are taking that bullet. I've not done the shopping, and there's not really a good reason for that. The shop is close enough that it's not too difficult to walk, and I've got a trolley thing so I can carry the stuff, so it's not really like a fibre related or health thing. The few times I have gone up to the shop, that couple of weeks that we had where you were self-isolating because I had a tickly throat one day, which was, I'm sure, nothing, but we were being careful. I found those 2 weeks, I think I only went to the shop maybe twice in those 2 weeks. The one day I did go to 2 different shops, and the other day I just went to the one, but I think I found it incredibly stressful, and essentially I'm letting you take the bullet, but if you're finding it really awful, I will do it.
I don't mind.
I'll take my hit, but I fucking hate it.
Well, it wouldn't be any nicer for you, so I don't. And also, it swings and roundabouts.
You chivalrous bastard.
Well, I do most of the cooking, I do like being able to go to the shop and actually see what ingredients they have and choose what things, see what I can find and what I can get and pick things up. So it's kind of a double-edged sword of I like actually being able to get the things from the shop and to be able to see what there is, because if I just send Ellie with a list and she is there kind of going, well, they don't have quite what he asked for, I don't know what the best substitute is, and
because I think I can use my judgment on most things, but if it's like that you're buying something that's for one of your meals, so if it's like meat or something, you said like a chicken, chicken thighs, or if they haven't got chicken thighs, get a whole chicken, and I'm like, well, they haven't got either of those, but they have got chicken breast, or they've got like diced chicken, and I'm there going, I don't fucking know, because I don't know what recipe you've got in mind, I don't know what you're using it for, and it wasn't really that wouldn't normally stress me out, but it's just the unfamiliarity of how everything works now, and sort of constantly feeling like, am I fucking this up? Am I doing this wrong? Am I in people's way?
Feeling like if I miss something, I can't double back.
And
just also just knowing,
weird and stressful.
Also knowing, because we're trying to avoid going to the shops any more than we have to.
If I forget something, I'll have fucked up.
It's not like we can just pop back and get it. So
I'm sure some people are. I'm sure some people are going several times a day, but that's on them. That's on them.
I saw someone walking down the street just carrying a 2-litre bottle of Coke, and you just go, well, that either
how essential was that?
Either you don't need Coke, or you can just get it when you're getting some other bits as well, and kind of justify the trip. It does, So I don't know. It was, people are, but it just seemed. And also, I was walking home from the shop, and I saw some people stood in their kind of front yard, and then some people on the path in front of that talking to them, obviously from 2 different households. And not one person from each household, but a few people from each household.
I'm assuming that's like 2 people were walking past and stopped to chat, but that sounds like maybe they actually planned to go and meet there, and they'll be like, it's okay, just stay in the garden, kind of thing.
I don't know, but they were socially distanced from each other, but what it did mean is that
you had to walk in the road again.
I had to walk in the road again, and it's like, again, it's not the end of the world, but I just feel like people are kind of taking things less seriously now because of recent events, and I do not like it.
Well, on that front, actually, because we don't have a huge amount of time left, and there's some real world stuff that's sort of on that note. So Germany, I will go to next, because I think that's the sort of links the best. Germany have been doing loads better than us on the coronavirus stakes, so well done, Germany. But they've got to the point where they had been in lockdown, and they have relaxed lockdown measures. Since relaxing lockdown measures, the infection rates shot up quite quickly, to the extent where I don't have the exact numbers, but on Monday, it wasn't on Monday. 3 days ago, they had it was 3 days. I can't remember. So today's Tuesday, isn't it? So it wasn't Monday that they had 300. But anyway, a couple of days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, they had 300 and something new cases confirmed in a day. And that has tripled to 900 in the space of a few days, which, when you look at how many new cases we're getting every day, today we had 3,877 new cases. So Germany is still kicking our ass. That is fine. But it's just showing you how quickly, if you get that infection rate above 1.1, above 1 is essentially stays the same. As soon as it's anything above 1, the numbers, because when you've got millions of people, 100 people infecting 101 people, when you've got millions of people, that's actually quite big already. So they've tripled, and they haven't
be heading back in that direction
as
well.
They haven't released lockdown. They're not all free to do whatever they want. They're still socially distancing, but it's just they've opened up most shops, but with social distancing measures.
So they've relaxed things more than we have.
Much more than we have.
But still seem to have more of a handle on it before they did that.
They had lower rates. Yeah, so they're still 900 new cases in a day. We would love 900 new cases in a day because we're pushing 4,000, and that's when we're on the way down. But still, it shows that even in a country that doesn't have it already relatively rife in the population, once you relax measures, it spikes. I'm already expecting a spike due to the VE Day celebrations and all of that jazz, as well as the Thursday newspaper headlines. So I think we're heading in for a spike anyway. But I think because now the message that essentially seems to have been taken by the British public, and I do deliberately say British and not English, is that things are relaxing, which will mean that other things that they haven't specifically relaxed, people will be more relaxed about. Which is just absolutely shouldn't be the message that is being sent to people right now, because we already have a higher rate. There's more of us with it. I'm really scared about how this is going to go. And we should learn from Germany's experiment, because I'm not going to call it a mistake, because they tried and then they've immediately gone, oh, right, that's what's happening, and then they're scaling it back. That's what you have to do, because we don't know enough about this virus to know exactly what's going to happen. So you do have to do a little bit of, okay, well, we'll just relax it a bit. Oh, no, it's not working. Right, and back in we go. But now that they've done that, we don't need to do that until we've got much better efficient test, track and trace methods in place. So basically, we shouldn't be relaxing anything. I want to talk, before we run out of time, though, about the good news that we had today, because this is essentially, for us specifically, but for a lot of people in the UK, very good news. Today, Rishi Sunak, who is rapidly becoming my favourite Tory, although that's being your favourite turd, but he is. That's a bit harsh, because actually I have confusing feelings about Rishi Sunak, because
shortest giant.
But yeah, he announced today that they will extend the furlough scheme for another 4 months, which is much better than I thought it was going to be. I thought they might drip feed another month or something in there.
What are these confusing feelings about Rishi Sunak?
Well, he's essentially sort of come into the rescue, and I saw a little bit of footage about him, and it was all candid footage of him about to have a video chat, but it before he talked to his various people on a big screen, and he was looked really he didn't look like he was doing a typical Tory I'm being candid bit. So he was being quite chatty and nice, and I was like, oh my god, he looks quite charismatic and charming, and he's saving my finances, and I sort of like him. And I don't want to like him.
You're saying you fancy Rishi Sunak?
I don't fancy him.
Oh, okay, fine.
He's still a Tory. Never let a Tory put their penis in you. That's the rule. Never, ever, ever. Otherwise they won't learn. Anyway, but I don't hate him. I'm not angry with him. He also said in the Houses of Parliament today, when he was sort of putting this to the House, quite sort of firmly. He kind of said, anyone who is criticising people as being sort of too reliant on the furlough scheme, I want to make it absolutely clear that nobody in this scheme wants to be on it. Everybody is doing the right thing. It's not their fault if they can't work. It's not their fault if their business is open but they can't afford that number of staff. If they've been furloughed and they are using this scheme, that is why we created this scheme. And I kind of wanted to sort of be like, yeah, fucking yes, because that's what I've been saying. Like, I'd rather be earning my money. I'd rather people be coming to the escape rooms and we could be building up some money to spend on the escape rooms and make new rooms and invest in the business. All of that's out the window. Best case scenario at the moment is I'm paying my rent and that is enough. But yeah, of course I'd rather be in work. But loads of people are in that situation. And so for any Tories to be sort of, or anyone, they don't have to be just Tory, because there's probably left-wing people being a bit twatty. Rich left-wing people are probably being like, oh, well, everybody's probably loving being on furlough. No, fuck you. But he sort of quite adamantly paid to that notion of if people are on furlough, they should not be any criticism of them for that situation. So they've extended furlough, they've extended it right through to the end of July as it is. So everybody who is on furlough has at least, or the employers have the option to keep them on furlough until the end of July, and there would be nothing to stop them doing it. It would be very weird to just go, no, I'm going to fucking fire you, when I could just pay you 80% and it cost me nothing. So that's going to be job security for a lot of people. From August, so it's going to carry on until October, but from August onwards, they've suggested that some workers who are furloughed may be allowed to go back to work part-time. Also from August onwards, they haven't said figures, but they've said that they will expect employers to contribute a certain amount towards that 80%, which I actually think is fair if your employees are in and working and you are running. If your business is running and you are potentially making money, I can sort of see the value of, like, they're going to do 80% of their full-time wage, but you are getting part-time hours out of them, which should equate to money being made by the business. I'm okay with that. Obviously, like, it's still going to probably fuck me over because my business will not be one of the businesses that is allowed to open first rung of everything. But if it is, then fine, fair. Like, if I'm taking somebody back in part-time and they're paying, say, 60% of the wage and I've got to pay 20% of that, of what extra they're doing for part-time, it's fair. I think that's fucking sensible. But overall, I realise time's running on now, so I just get it. Overall, hearing that scheme was going to be extended was a hallelujah moment, because I was just like, oh my god, I can breathe, because essentially June has been looming. It is the 12th of May today, and I only knew that the furlough scheme was going through till the end of June, and it's just like, well, what's happening at the end of June? Because I definitely can't open. You said I can't open till at least July in England, and I ain't in England.
Because I don't know whether or not if furlough ended I would be called back into work. That's possible. That's potentially worrying because of public transport.
And now at least it gives your employers the possibility to say, well, we are going to have some more staff in, but we can just keep Chris on furlough.
Or other
and others, but like I don't care what other people you work with. But then there shouldn't be the pressure on you to go back because you have to use public transport. And I imagine that's the same for other people who are like, well, I've got kids, so I can't work, and blah, blah, blah.
Or they might reopen, but because a lot of people are still staying home when they can and being
They won't have as many customers,
so they won't need as many staff. So it's good for the business if they can keep some people at home on furlough as well, other business as well, but particularly for Ellie, she won't be able to open. So if she can't get furlough money to pay herself or an employee, then where's the income?
I can't pay my rent.
Yes, exactly. So that's not ideal.
We have to wrap that up there.
We do.
But that essentially, is really, really good news and quite significant. So is a bit of breathing space. I'm sure there'll be a backswing, but essentially, I think Rishi Sunak is going to be he's going to come out of this as the sort of hero of the hour. A lot of everybody basically involved in the cabinet is essentially being like annihilated at the moment because everyone's going, what the fuck, guys? But Rishi has repeatedly been the guy who has come in to save the day. So for everybody who, whatever, like me being a prime example, whatever end of the political spectrum you're on, I am there going, well, the Chancellor of the Exchequer has looked after quite a lot of people with these measures.
And also, I
So
think it makes
if
a big difference him just saying that
these guys aren't doing this for funsies.
they've got nothing to feel guilty
yeah.
about. They're not being work shy. They're doing
Yeah.
it. We told them to stay at home, and they're staying at home.
Yeah.
And they're following.
And
the
yeah,
rules.
so I like he's going to be one to watch, because I think he might have done himself a lot of favours, when I don't think many of these cabinet are going to come out of this looking very well. But I think Rishi might be the standout star of the Tory Corona cabinet.
I've got thoughts on that, but no time for them.
No time for them. Tomorrow,
So,
maybe.
like and subscribe, guys.
Oh, I don't want us to be.
Like
That's
and
not
subscribe.
a thing.
There's no shame in it.
Hey guys, there's no shame in it. There we go.